Rick Ferrante from Home Care Services. We talk about sandwich generations, and that's where we as the adults have not only our children that we are taking care of, but perhaps also the parents who have moved in as well. But you were telling me off the air about the club sandwich generation.
Yeah, it was an interesting thing. You keep thinking, you're hearing about the sandwich generation, and you have that whole dynamic. And then somebody was talking about this sort of play on words with the club sandwich generation. I'm like, what is that? So it's literally 4 generations in the same household, and I think it kind of really just kind of emphasized the point. So what we have is a situation where it's changed, folks. There is a whole dynamic where it didn't used to be. You didn't live with your parents and then have your kids and maybe the great grandparents or whatever it was, all in the same household. But that is, many people are finding that's a situation that they're needing to deal with. And they even want to deal with. There are a lot of positives to all that, and a lot of cultures are like that, where there are multi generations in the same household, and they've found ways to be able to cope with that, and then taking the advantages of it. We're not used to it, right? So we just see disadvantages. Oh, this is kind of tough, and it is. But with parents aging and grandparents aging and needing some help at home, this is one of the ways to be able to accommodate that, but we need some help sometimes. So Those are the kinds of things that we talk about a lot, and we get calls all day long, George, about, what do I do here? And so what we do is a lot of provide, there's professional help, certainly, so we can provide respite for that as an agency. But then there's also, just concepts, tools, strategies, emotional help, asking questions. What do we do with this? If when you're in school, and you're in high school, you're in college, nobody sat there and gave you a class on how to deal with a sandwich household.
That's true.
Right?
That is absolutely true.
So what do? They call and say, I've got these problems here, so let's kind of work it through.
You're even talking about situations where you're trying to sort out like the parents' money situation. Let's say, especially if one of the parents has passed away and they handled all the money all those years, suddenly you have someone who's a little bit out of kilter with that. They're not sure what to do. And, how does that work out? I know that's one of the things that we kind of dealt with, and also still making sure that they're getting everything together and making sure that they're doing things like taking their medication when they don't want to do it. I mean, it almost turns into, the children become the parents, and it can be overwhelming, and it's good to have a source like Home Care Services Santa Clarita to help with those situations.
Yeah, and like I said, there's certainly professional help, and obviously that's where we're at as an agency. And then there's also products, that kind of thing. A lot of the products out there, a lot of engineering for seniors and others that wasn't there before.
Right.
But there's also just even emotional help. So we'll get calls from people, just let's go through it. And whether or not somebody, needs that professional help or needs a product or whatever it is, doesn't necessarily matter. Just call, just come on in, just email, whatever it is, and let's talk about it. And a lot of times the solutions are there. There's no silver bullet to this, George. This isn't like I got this wonderful magic that just poof makes this all this perfect.
Exactly.
But a lot of times people just don't know anything. But if you get enough knowledge, you can figure it out. We can put some strategies together, and let's put it together and then get to those advantages that, hey, there's some good things about, multi-generational households and taking care of your parents and all that stuff. Really neat stuff that can be a result of this as well.
And that's true, because in the shifting of these roles, there is the psychology involved and the stress on both sides. And in that case, you still have a lot. We were talking about the sandwich generation, even the club sandwich generation. You've got a lot on your plate, and still making sure that not only the kids are taken care of, the parents are taken care of. So it is a good opportunity to kind of figure out what's the best rate. HomeCareSantaClarita.com is the website, and you can see all the great services you offer: in-home caregiver, in-home living products, audiology, hearing aids, pretty much anything that need, along with geriatric therapy, financial services, just kind of get things on track. I mentioned that earlier. Making sure that the money is still separate, but that it may be as a sudden caregiver that you might have access to help out just in case, especially with the parent who's not sure how to handle those types of finances and things like that.
Absolutely.
So it's really good. Helping put a plan in place that reduces the stress and makes sure that the care is solid.
You got it. It could definitely help.
Outstanding. So yes, HomeCareSantaClarita.com, number 800-808-4777. And that is an incredible thing. You're also located on Cinema Drive in Santa Clarita, so very easy to find right smack dab in the middle of Austin town.
There we go.
So if you're in the sandwich or club sandwich generation, or it looks like it's heading that way, just go ahead and check out the website, give a call, and it doesn't hurt to start asking questions at all.
Perfect. We're here to help. Just any questions, advice as well.
Rick Ferrante, President of Home Care Services. Thanks so much for stopping by. Home Care Services Santa Clarita. I want to make sure we add that there. Thanks for stopping by once again. Always a pleasure to chat with you.
Thanks. Thanks for having me.